of food, a ton of high
How
sodium
long
food.
after contest do you think it takes most people? This is actually probably a good thing for people to hear. How long do you think post contest it takes most people's bodies to kind of level out if they follow your kind of rebound protocol, which is eat what you want for about 36 hours, 5 high days was the cheat at the end of the day?
Most people like it, and it's dependent, and that's actually kind of a a decent gauge of how easy it's going to be for you to be a competitor. Like people who get in shape really quickly, people who can compete show after show, who lean out very easily, they'll sometimes within a week, and definitely within 10 days. Most people about 10 to 14 days, they start their ankles start losing some of the water. It's really about 2 weeks. But the like super genetic freaks will be back to baseline like 7 days after, 2 days after they stop doing the high carb big lifts, if they do a full 5 day. It's really
What?
remarkable. And then the people who are naturally big and have a hard time getting in shape, it can be like 3 weeks or more.
I feel like I'm finding.
I'm guessing Dave probably stays watery for a while.
Yeah, although it seems to have gotten
Is
better
that
every show. Um, and like, yeah, it's like within a week I'll have like the really bad kinkles,
Yeah.
but this time
mhm.
it went down from that really bad point within, I don't know, 3 or 4 days, and now five weeks removed, I'm kind of just at that baseline off season level of like my ankles aren't super sharp, they're a little bloated, but it's just kind of how they're going to be for probably
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
next year.
And then, but
Last year.
that's the worst part about the
Go ahead.
That's the sorry. That's the worst part about the rebound is because you're in shape, and then very quickly you don't look in shape anymore. But at least you're really full, and then you lose some of that water, and then you get this sweet spot, which is even I think even better than prep. When you're like super saturated with glycogen, and you're so full, it's like you have the best pump of your life 24/7, and you look huge, and you've lost some of the excess water, so now you look decently lean again, at
Mhm.
least in clothing. And there's like that Goldilocks zone from like maybe 2.5 weeks post show to about six
Yeah,
weeks post show, where you look like Mr.
yeah,
Olympia, and you think it's going to stay like that all off season, but then that extra fullness starts to subside, and by like 6 weeks after, 7 weeks after, it's like
yeah.
just
Well,
normal
actually,
off season again.
the
Not super
the
lean, not
fullness
super full.
subsides, but then you're still in a surplus, and so even if you're not gaining too fast, some of the water basically gets replaced by fat. So
Yeah, yeah. It's like a slow transition from really full that looks awesome to the same size,
yeah,
but just not as
and
awesome
kind of
looking.
another slight tangent, but that's just I feel like that's just when you have to stick it out, and
Mm.
if you're really interested in being a competitor, you have to deal with being uncomfortable and being okay with not looking your sharpest, because that's I remember I never intended upon like crash dieting or doing anything to avoid this, but I think I asked you a question at some point after the first show that maybe made it sound like I was wanting to go that route. Like I was like, oh no, I'm getting fat. I want to diet
Staying.
again. And you're like, you said something like, I can't recommend enough that you not diet right now. That will make the rest of your off season just horrible. And I was like, no, 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 I don't want to. I don't want to.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but if you stick it out, the results are so great. Like I remember looking at last off season after prep number 2, after junior nats. It's like I got up to this bloated point. Like there were pictures. We were at Elite FTS when we met you there too, and I was like, I was pretty bloated there, and and then I
You were
see,
impressively bloated.
I was yeah. Well, Dave Tate was impressed with my bloat, which is really saying something because he's like the king of bloat.
Yeah,
That's such a
yeah.
good moment.
Yeah. Um, but then I remember, by the end of the off season, we took a vacation to Hawaii and we had pics from that. I'm like, I'm not like lean by any means, but I'm like, okay, I'm, 10 pounds heavier there than I was at Elite and looking way better because, it's like, yeah,
As a
Yeah,
female,
yeah.
it feels so unfair to watch his off season because like his rebound, like your rebounds have consistently been like 8 weeks. Mine are like 4, maybe
yeah.
5.
Mine have just kind of lasted
So
the
he
whole
like
off season.
takes his time getting back. He hits training hard, but that's like not a big deal if he misses it. Like if things aren't perfect for a week, I'm like I miss a week. That's 25% of my rebound. Um,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good
yeah.
point. Yeah.
For more content like this, visit www.teamtroponin.com.
This video is brought to you by First Attachment Nutrition, battle-tested nutrition, expert formulated supplements. Join the First Attachment revolution.